Bonjour. Moka angizes nende jenakaz. Magazine and ordem. And much kazibi ordain long and dunjaba. Name a day when any. To translate my Anishinaabe name is Rising Sun. I'm Eagle Clan. That's the way we trace our lineage. I'm a member of the Bad River Band of Lake Superior, Ojibwe, and a member of the Medewawan, or the Grand Medicine Society. My English name is Joe Rose, Joseph M. Rose. I say Joseph M. because I have a son, Joe Dan. So we use our middle initial to distinguish ourselves. I think it's political on the part of Governor Scott Walker and the Republican side of the aisle, Wisconsin State Legislature. Well, I think they're playing to the redneck side of the mentality of certain people, and his political strategy anyway is to divide and conquer. So he plays on people's prejudices. Is the way that I see it. The wolf is brother to Anishinaabe. Moingan is brother to Anishinaabe. And it plays a very important role in our spirituality. And so in our creation story, they say that the Great Spirit came down to the earth, took dust or soil from the four quarters of Mother Earth. First to the east where the sun rises, where the sun is reborn each morning, and then to the south, then to the west, and then to the north. Breathed life into, placed it in the sacred shell, the one we call a megas. Breathed life into it and created Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe means spontaneous or original man. Gitzimanado, the Great Spirit, lowered Anishinaabe down through the clouds to meet his mother. And his mother was Ningosaki, Mother Earth. The first steps that he took, he tread very lightly, out of love, out of honor, out of respect. And the Great Spirit asked Anishinaabe, he who yet had no name, to go out and to name everything in the garden that had been created. We see that as our Garden of Eden. And so Anishinaabe began that walkabout. And as he traveled the earth and visited different places, he met the one called Moingan, the wolf. And they began to travel the earth together, visiting many different places. They became inseparable companions and eventually blood brothers. So when Anishinaabe had completed his task, the Great Spirit called him back. And so man and wolf stood in the presence of Anishinaabe. Anishinaabe spoke, Gitzimanado spoke to both Anishinaabe and Moingan, man and wolf. The Great Spirit spoke to man and wolf. In many ways, the two of you are alike. When you take a mate, it'll be for life. Your social order will be very complex. And so Anishinaabe was given the totemic system, or the clan system, by which we trace our lineage. Mohegan was given the wolf pack, another very complex social system. Both of you will make your living by the chase. Both of you will be excellent hunters. And then there were also prophecies. The Great Spirit spoke of 7 different ages. And so recently, several decades ago, we've entered into a new age that we call Nishwashwaishkadewan, the age of the 7th fire. And it refers to a ceremony that is conducted to usher in each new age. And so, as a man and wolf stood in the presence of the Great Spirit, the Great Spirit speaking to them, told both Mohegan and Anishinaabe, from this day forward, I'm gonna, even though you're blood brothers, I'm going to place you on separate paths. And this has a lot to do with prophecy. And so Anishinaabe expressed a certain loneliness, even though he had Mohegan as his brother. And he told the Great Spirit, he said, as I walked the earth, I noticed that the animals occurred in pairs. And so what he was referring to was male and female in the human species. And so once again, the Great Spirit came down to the earth, took soil, dust from the 4 quarters, placed it in the sacred shell, the mega shell, breathed life into the megas, created Anishinaabe Kwe. And so now there was man and woman in the human species. And so according to prophecy, when human beings today encroach on the wolves' territory, Mohegan, the wolf, retires further and further into the wilderness. And then it was prophesied that maybe someday that Mohegan may no longer have a place to retreat if there's no wilderness. If that happens, if Mohegan passes out of existence, Anishinaabe, you'll soon follow. You'll die of great loneliness of spirit. And so the fate of Mohegan, the fate of Anishinaabe, is related to the fate of Mohegan. And so their destiny is said to be the same. If Anishinaabe, if you pass out of existence, all other human beings will soon follow. And so right now, they talk in that prophecy. It talked about a fork in the road, and so right now in this age of the 7th fire, all humankind is standing at this fork in the road, and will be confronted with a choice. And so it was said that one fork in the road would be a hard surface, the other a more natural path. Today we see that hard surface as the fast lane of unbridled technology. that pollutes and destroys and upsets the natural balance. The other fork in the road is a more natural path. And so we see the one fork in the road. Some cultures refer to that as Armageddon. See the other fork in the road as more of a utopian situation. And according to that prophecy, if human beings are to survive, then there has to be a reconnection with the natural world, with nature. And once again, human beings will have to recognize that everything in the natural world has a spirit. The water, the air, Mother Earth, all plants, all animals, all human beings, everything has its own spirit. And so it's not just man that has an immortal soul or a spirit. It's everything in the creation. Sometimes we'll conclude a prayer with the words Nikanakana, and what it means is all my relatives. And that covers more than just my human relatives. That includes Mother Earth, the plants, the animals, and all human beings that come in the four sacred colors. And so it was said in that prophecy, it was said that a new people would arise in this age of the seventh fire. The Anishinaabe would turn and look back, begin to retrace their footsteps. Their footsteps would take them back to ancient times and ancient knowledge. They'd pick up the ceremonial bundles that have fallen by the wayside, and they'd go to native elders who had to take these bundles and this knowledge underground for generations because of persecution. But there are those who who retain these teachings. So it was also prophesied that these teachings would once again begin to see the light of day. And so, as we stand at this fork in the road, we're facing a very serious environmental crisis on a global basis. The signs are all there according to prophecy. Natural catastrophes are occurring with greater frequency and intensity than they have since probably the Ice Age. You can't pick up a newspaper or watch a newscast without learning about some kind of a natural catastrophe. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, mudslides, wildfire, could go on and on. And so Mother Earth is sending us messages right now. We'd better change our ways, or some very serious things are going to happen in our future. And not only that, there's a great deal of unrest worldwide, a lot of intolerance, injustice, and so on that's happening in the world today. It was prophesied that in the age of the seventh fire, a new people would arise, and that they would take on a new way of thinking, a new paradigm, and that wealth would no longer be measured in terms of money, materialistic goods, political power and control, or any of those egocentric things that we're facing today. But true wealth will be measured in terms of clean water, fresh air, pristine wilderness and a restoration of the natural balance. And so that's where we stand today. And so in our teachings, we talk about the four sacred colors: red, yellow, black, and white. And so Anishinaabe are leading the way. We were given a gift that's called Mushkiki. Loosely interpreted, it means medicine. But along with that goes the teachings of how to live in harmony and balance with all things in the four orders of creation: the physical world, the plant world, the animal world, and the human world. And so we're very, very knowledgeable about all of those ecosystems and those relationships in the web of life. And so, along with that gift of Mushkiki goes a responsibility. And so we have to share this knowledge of how to live in harmony and balance with Mother Earth, with others. And that's a part of our responsibility as Anishinaabe people. And so it's happening right now. And as we fight this mining issue over here, this threat by Gogebic taconite, this threat of mountaintop removal, as we face that threat, there are those there are those people that are supporting us now. Non-native people, non-native organizations, such as the Sierra Club. We have a camp at the base of the Panoki Ridge down there. We're camped out on Nature Conservancy land. And there are a great number of individuals now that are very concerned about the environment. The wolf now is a very strong symbol of the wilderness, of what little wilderness that we have left. And so the wolf is a threat to any of those who would seek to exploit that wilderness and those resources. So that's motivated by greed and selfishness. And it's those sort of people that hate the wolf. See, Anishinaabe, it's our brother. And so we've taken a very serious stand against wolf hunting here in Wisconsin, as well as Minnesota and Michigan, because of our relationship to the wolf, the common destiny, the common fate, not only of Anishinaabe people, but of everybody. Now, we don't think in terms of linear segmented time. We think in terms of cycles or cyclic time. And on the sacred circle, on the medicine wheel, there is no beginning and no end. Now, the human race may have vanished from this earth many times. In that cycle, we don't know. What we do know is that we're living in very historic times, if not dangerous times. There are some that say we're living in the time of the quickening, when everything is moving at an accelerated rate, like a runaway freight train. You might say socially, politically, economically, environmentally, even spiritually. And pretty soon there's going to be a crash if we don't do something about it. And so that's just some of our thinking. If I was going to talk to the whole world, I'd like to teach a 14-week course just on Native American worldviews. alone.
Okay. All right.
And I'd get into much greater depth
Sure.
as to why we love wolves.
Yeah.
It's our relationship with our brother. According to our Bad River DNR, we have 4 wolf packs located within the boundaries of the reservation here. I see them once in a while, not too often, but they're here, and we have no problem. In fact, there's that natural relationship that maintains that natural balance of predator and prey relationships. And the wolf is a part of that. It's a part of those natural relationships.